Every autumn, when the leaves start to fall, the small road in front of my house gets covered with a thick blanket of golden leaves. Just stepping on them makes a crunching sound, as if you're walking through a sleeping forest. Beautiful? Absolutely. Practical? Not so much. Hardly anyone enjoys cleaning them up. I once saw Min and Hoa, my neighbors, famous for their love of growing organic vegetables, standing in front of the leaf pile, sighing. Day after day, leaves kept falling. Sweeping them was endless. If left too long, they'd rot, smell, and the rain would turn everything into mud all over the yard. Have you ever faced this, where organic waste in your own home turns into a nuisance? But out of that annoyance, Min came up with an idea that piqued the curiosity of the whole neighborhood. A 60-day composting challenge between him and Hoa. Whoever created the finest, most earthy-smelling, microbe-rich compost would become the neighborhood's leaf king. And you know what? They weren't just competing to win. They were exploring a different way of life, reducing waste, nurturing the soil, and making the most of what nature offers for their gardens, whether using AI technology or relying on simple, hands-on intuition. I remember vividly the morning the challenge officially began. The air was still misty, but Min's and Hoa's yards were alive with laughter and excitement, like a small festival. Have you ever witnessed neighbors engaging in friendly rivalry like this? A competition not about being better, but about showing who can care for the soil more, who understands nature better, and who can produce compost that will make their garden thrive. Min is the type of person who always follows formulas, measurements, and proper equipment. Hoa, on the other hand, is gentle, intuitive, and believes that if you understand the soil and the smell of decomposing leaves, the earth will respond on its own. These two contrasting personalities ended up making the perfect pair for a contest that was both fun and educational for the neighborhood. Picture this: two giant piles of dry leaves, like small hills in the middle of the yard. Oak leaves, star-shaped leaves, crepe myrtle leaves, tamarind leaves, layered in golden hues, perfect for a postcard. Min brought out leaf shredders, thermometers, and an AI app to track moisture levels. Hoa simply had old gloves, a bucket of rice water, a jar of homemade microbial solution, and a confident smile. Two worlds, right before my eyes. Have you ever processed kitchen waste in two completely different ways? One scientific, precise, standardized, the other intuitive, hands-on, guided by feel and experience? Interestingly, both approaches work, because composting isn't a problem with a single solution. It's like caring for a plant. Some people follow precise watering schedules, while others can feel when the soil is thirsty. Different paths, same goal. From day one, the rules were strict. 100% dry leaves only. No kitchen scraps, cow manure, or coffee grounds. The goal was to see how two different methods would work with the same material over 60 days. Progress was tracked by temperature, moisture retention, decomposition speed, color changes, and, most importantly, microbial activity, the key factor in high-quality compost. Min started like a true scientist. Leaves were shredded into tiny pieces. When I asked why, he just smiled and said, "More surface area means microbes work faster." Simple, but critical. Tiny pieces give microbes more space to thrive, like breaking bread into smaller pieces so it's eaten faster. He also used an AI app to track temperature. Every day, he measured 3 spots in the pile and sent the data to the app, which would tell him whether the pile needed turning or more moisture. Technology isn't just for social media or photo filters anymore. It can be a serious gardening assistant, especially for beginners afraid of making mistakes. Hoa's method was completely opposite. She left the leaves whole. In the forest, leaves fall and decompose naturally. No need to chop them, she said. It might seem artsy, but this method is highly valued in natural gardening. Bigger leaves decompose slower, but maintain great aeration, producing a beautifully fluffy compost that retains moisture well. When watering, she didn't use AI or moisture sensors. She'd simply put her hand into the pile. If the leaves felt warm, soft, and slightly damp, it was enough. If too dry, she knew the crunching sound would tell her it needed water. This is an intuition only a true lover of soil can develop. One person using artificial intelligence, one person using sensory intelligence. A real-life showdown of two worlds. By day 10, the differences were already clear. Min's pile radiated heat, like holding your hand over a bowl of hot rice. Temperature over 55 degrees Celsius, a sign of intense microbial activity. Hoa's pile was just mildly warm, like soil under afternoon sunlight. Slower, gentler, yet still following natural decomposition rules. By day 30, the colors had changed dramatically. Min's pile turned dark brown, soft, and easy to crumble. Science at work. Hoa's pile developed a gentle forest-like aroma with a fluffy structure. Min's was like a mini laboratory. Hoa's, a corner of the forest brought into her yard. Have you ever watched a slow, living transformation like that? My family called it the art of decomposition. Millions of tiny microbes quietly doing their work. By day 45, the differences became even clearer. Min showed me AI-generated microbial maps. Cellulose-degrading bacteria thrived thanks to the shredded leaves and precise moisture control. Hoa's pile had fewer microbes, but much more diversity, thanks to the natural layering of the leaves. By day 60, both piles were ready. But the results were different. Min's compost was microbe-rich and fine-textured. Hoa's smelled earthy, fluffy, and moisture-retentive. Two types of compost, two personalities, two methods. And here's the surprise. Min was the first to admit that technology doesn't always produce the best results. Hoa's pile is beautifully fluffy. Sometimes nature knows best, he said. Hoa laughed, but your app really helped with moisture control. Sometimes I wasn't sure whether to water or not. They looked at each other, then at their piles, and laughed together. The competition, meant to determine a winner, ended in mutual recognition that both methods had value. In the end, they decided to mix both composts, one rich in microbes, the other excellent at retaining moisture. Looking at the mixture, I knew their garden was about to have an amazing harvest. This taught me a bigger lesson. Composting isn't just about waste or dry leaves. It's about balance, science and nature, technology and intuition. Composting is like life. Sometimes you need data, sometimes you need your heart and gut feeling. Have you ever been in a situation like that? Doing everything by the book, only to find letting things unfold naturally works better? Or relying on intuition, then discovering technology saves you from a mistake? A friend once told me, compost teaches patience, and I believe that. Every layer of decomposing leaves builds a new layer of understanding. When day 60 ended, Min and Hoa stood before two piles of mature, earthy brown compost, exuding the scent of new life. No single winner. They decided to combine both into a super compost for the garden. Yet anyone could see, the real winner was the garden itself. Watching them, I realized that daily habits of dealing with organic waste don't just reduce pollution or save money. They teach patience, observation, and a connection to the soil. A connection modern life often robs us of. Every vegetable peel, every dry leaf added to the pile reminds us, in nature, nothing is truly wasted. Everything can become new life. If you're watching this video, here's my message. There's no single right way to compost. There's only the way that works for you. Start your own 60-day journey. And if this story inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to the Compost channel to help spread the green lifestyle to more people.